them something. So, oh, she just spoke to me and told me she was recording. So, it is a full moon. It's a full moon, and it's a super blood moon, which basically just means more of the Earth can see the full moon at the same time, and the reflection from the sun makes it red. So it doesn't necessarily make anything crazier or change the fact that we are all crazy during the full moon. My husband might disagree, but that's just because his employees are crazy. So we're going to do a combination of moon salutations combined with balance work interspersed between it. So super excited about this one. Thought of it yesterday. So find a comfortable seat so we can flow it out and balance as best we can. So take a moment in your comfortable seat, whatever that comfortable seat is, and either close your eyes or find a focal point to focus on. And just breathe. Just sometimes deepening the breath will calm you down instantly. There is a whole theory about cigarette smoking and how it calms people. It's not just the chemicals and additives in the cigarettes that calm people, it's the fact that they're taking deeper breaths, slower, deeper breaths that's actually contributing to the calmer feeling. No, I'm not encouraging you to smoke cigarettes. I'm just encouraging you to take slower, deeper breaths. Just starting your practice, rolling the shoulders, bringing movement into the body, waking up the body, getting it ready. So one of the great things about the moon is not only does it bring some crazy energy, it actually recharges us, which is why we tend to go a little crazy, because suddenly we have all this crazy energy, this amount of energy we're not used to having. Relax the shoulders and circle through the torso. Circles through the torso just to bring movement. So all this extra energy in our body, and sometimes we don't know how to release that energy. And so a physical yoga practice is a great way to release that energy. Change the direction of the circles with the torso. We are combining moon salutations with standing balance. So both tend to be a little bit slower, less heat building. I don't want to say cooler, especially if it's cold where you are. Next, inhale, sit all the way up. And then wherever you're sitting, bring your legs out in front. Feet down, knees bent, just rock. Windshield wiper your knees side to side. Yeah, you can rock them side to side, but a little windshield wiper just to bring a little movement into the hips, because we are going to very early on go into lunges and squats, big lunges and squats. And let me say this before we get deeper into the practice. If you like a block or something to help hold you up in half moon pose, have that nearby. It doesn't have to be a block. It can be a stack of books. It can be an upside down pot. It can be a step stool, a chair, a wall, whatever you feel like you might want. And then roll it over, find your way to down dog, quickly into down dog. I'm not telling you to move fast. I'm just saying we're there early in the practice. Finding movement if that's what your body is seeking. Settling into the pose whenever you're ready. Take the right leg, lift it up, bend the knee. You can open the hip if you want. We're going to draw circles with the right knee just to bring some more movement into our hips. Changing the direction of the circle with the right knee. And then on an exhale, bring your right foot back down to the mat. Inhale as you lift up the left leg, bending the knee. You can open the hip a little bit if you want. And circles with the left knee. As always, you decide size, pace, and direction. Change the direction of the circles. Next, exhale, bring the foot down, back into your down dog. And on your next exhale, walk your feet to the top of the mat. So you're into a forward fold. Really allow yourself to hang and relax. Next, inhale, lift up halfway, create that illusion of a flat back. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, fold all the way forward again. Taking a breath, lift up just halfway. Exhale as you fold. Again, inhale, all the way up to standing. Arms reach all the way overhead. And again, exhale, forward fold. So we're doing these half sun salutations. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, all the way up to standing, reach your arms all the way overhead. And then on an exhale, pull your palms together, heart center. And then I want you to turn sideways on your mat, step to the middle of your mat. So sideways in the middle of your mat. So you might have to readjust yourself or your device. So you might want to see, you might not want to see. Maybe you don't ever look at me and that's okay. Next, inhale, reach the arms all the way up. On an exhale, stretch over to the right side. So this is also called half moon pose, just like our balance pose is. Next, inhale, bring it all the way up. Exhale, take it over to the left. Inhale, come up right. On an exhale, forward fold. So we are still facing sideways on the mat. Folded forward. But I want you to heel toe you walk your feet out wide. So feet go out wide. So now you're in a wide leg forward fold with some generous bends in the knee so we don't kill our hamstrings. So don't try to go for your biggest, fullest expression of the pose, not just yet. Bring your hands to your hips, taking a breath, come all the way back up. Keep your feet wide. That's what we want. We're gonna turn the heels in. And I'm actually gonna bring my feet in a little bit closer together. Bend your knees, find your way into a goddess squat, but just with the legs for a moment. Because I want you to get down into it. Find some movement here. You can rock your hips. You can shift your weight side to side. You can lift heels. Take a moment. Enjoy the squat. And then on your next exhale, forward fold, turning your heels out. You have to pivot on your foot, on your feet. There's two of them. And then hands down to the mat. There's 2 feet. Although I've taught many, many, many people that only have 1 foot, many, many amputees in my life. Hands come back to the hips. Taking in a breath, come all the way back up. Turn the heels in, bend your knees, find your way back into the goddess squat. We're gonna stay here, so taking in a breath. Bring up your goalpost arms. Belly's in and up. Striving for a little tailbone tuck. You just don't want your pelvis sticking up and behind you. So the fun part, emphasis on fun, is we're taking moon salutation. And instead of flowing through it, we're going to go into a pose that's in the moon salutation. And then we're going to take that pose and shift it into a standing balance pose. So it's not going to flow as much. It's not going to be like super like dance like rhythmic. Of course, my classes usually aren't, but it's going to be pose, 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 like a Vogue camera shoot, photo shoot. So we're going to put all our weight into our right foot. We're going into eagle pose. So weight goes to the right foot, left leg comes, wraps around the front of the right. You can put left toes on the floor if you want. And then find an arm variation here. You can take eagle arm, wrapping one arm underneath the other. You're welcome to take palms and forearms together. Whatever works for you. Nice and early in the practice for an eagle pose. Think of it as though you're sitting on the very edge of your bar stool. Elbows lifted up. So we work right there between the back, right between the shoulder blades on the back. Next, inhale. We're going to open it back up to our goddess pose with the goalpost arms. Belly's in and up. We're going to take it to the other side. Weight goes to the left foot. Right leg comes, wraps around the front of the left, and then your choice of arm variations. Now, when it comes to eagle arms, which arm is on top and which one's on bottom? Some styles of yoga will tell you there's a correct variation depending on the cross of your legs. I don't really care as long as you're alternating. Sometimes you might take eagle arms on one side and then the other side, you just take palms and forearms together. That's okay. Next, inhale, open back up to your goddess pose. Whew, I kind of plopped with the foot. The idea is we don't plop with the foot. The idea is we're very controlled. Next, exhale, forward fold, pivot your feet, heels are out. Hands to the hips, taking in a breath, come all the way back up. So we're going to triangle pose. Triangle pose leads us into half moon. So if you know you like that prop for half moon, put it at the edge of your right foot. So take your right foot, turn it out so it's on the short end of the mat. You really want right thigh opening up because my right hip tends to roll forward in triangle, and that's not what we want. It's not best for your knee. You want to keep that right thigh open, a little external rotation going on. Lengthen the arms. Exhale as you reach forward and then down into triangle. So this might not be your biggest triangle. Surprisingly, when I don't prepare for triangle, I get really big into it. And so that's just the, weird part of the yoga. Have a little rotation in your neck. So either turn your head up towards the ceiling or down towards your right foot. We're going to take this directly into half moon. So you can put just a little bend in your right knee. So you can take your right hand either to the floor or to your prop and lift the left leg. Lift it up, foot is flexed, hip is opened. My left arm was already up when I went into the pose, so I'm leaving it up. Typically, I put left hand on my hip for balance purposes. You're always welcome with that same option. Next exhale, very gently step that foot back down into triangle. So try not to plop, but plopping happens. Next, inhale, come all the way up with the arms. Exhale and down. Turn right toes, point in the same direction as the left. We're immediately going to the left side. So if you need to move a prop over to the left foot, left side, take it over there. Left toes turn out. Inhale as we lengthen the arms. Exhale, reach and hinge. Now, one side might feel one way, the other side might feel a different way. Again, rotation through the neck. You don't necessarily have to look through at the right hand because that puts a little strain on my neck, but I can turn my head. So we're gonna take this right into half moon. So put a little bend in your left knee. Left hand reaches for the floor or your prop. Right leg lifts. Foot is flexed. Opening the right hip. So we're striving to stack right hip on top of left. Next, exhale. Little bend in the knee. Right foot to the back of the mat. So we're back into triangle. And if you lose your balance, it's okay. We're going to blame the moon. I blame the moon for everything. Yesterday, I couldn't stop eating, which is funny because my pants were tight before I even started eating. So my friend said, just blame it on the moon. We'll blame everything on the moon. Next, inhale, come all the way back up. Relax the arms down. Left toes turn forward. Hands to the hips. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come down to the mat. Let yourself release. This is like a reset. Hands come back to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up. So we're going to take it. Pyramid pose. Pyramid pose is then going to be a funky one-legged forward fold. It's going to be fun. You're going to love it. So turn your right toes out. So with pyramid, we do want a shorter stance between our feet. So we're going to take this left leg, step it in, and then I personally turn my toes in. You want to turn them in a little bit, whether you have them directly out in front, pointing in the same direction as your right is your choice. So those left toes can be opened a little bit. That is okay. Let's put hands on the hips. Belly is in and up. On an exhale, fold forward over your right leg, nose towards the knee. And then hands can come down if you want. You might not touch the floor. You might have hands on the right shin, and that's okay. You want to keep your hands fairly close to your right foot. Always okay to put a little bend in your right knee here. So we're putting all the weight into the right foot. We're going to shift the hips to go over the ankle as much as possible. And then we're going to bend and lift up the left foot. So on an exhale, shift the weight, bend the left knee so the foot comes off the mat. And then I place my knees next to each other. So it's a one-legged forward fold. So your right leg is getting lengthened and strengthened at the same time. So try not to put too much weight into your hands. Taking the left foot, stepping it back to the mat, shifting the weight evenly between your feet for pyramid pose. Hands come back to the hips. Inhale and come all the way back up. And then just pivot all the way around to face the left side. So now your left foot is in front, right foot is in back. How much your right toes open to the right side is your choice. And it might be different from this side to the other. Very normal. Hands still on the hips, taking in a breath. Exhale and fold over the left leg. Hands can come to the floor or hands are on the shin. Really, it's whatever your body can do. How straight your left leg is going to be a little bit different every day and even every time you practice this. So we're shifting the weight into the left foot. On an exhale, lift the right foot off the floor. So we like to call it a flamingo fold because you might feel like a little flamingo standing there with just one foot. Again, strengthening and lengthening the left leg. Taking your right foot, step it back into pyramid as you evenly distribute the weight between your feet. Hands to the hips. Inhaling, come all the way back up. Pivot both feet to face the side of the mat. You might want to take them out a little bit wider. As you then exhale, fold forward. Hands come down. Use this as a reset. So a little bit slower of a practice. Sometimes the poses might feel a little bit more intense though. Sometimes you might be thinking how easy this practice is, how it's like an easy Thursday. Hands come back to the hips, take it in a breath, come all the way back up. So we're going to take it into a lunge, and we're going to do more of a crescent lunge versus a runner's lunge for this one. Although it would be a lot more work to do a runner's lunge. We're still going to do a crescent lunge. So turn both your toes to point towards the right side and bend your right knee into a lunge. Left heel high off the mat. Belly's in and up. We're going to do palms together, heart center here for this one. Keep weight in the right foot. On an inhale, we're going to take this left leg and we're going to lift it up in front of us. So we're standing on the right leg. So on your next inhale, left knee lifts up in front of you. Maybe. We're going to go into our standing big toe pose. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what it looks like. There is the Captain Morgan variation. So left hand can open your left knee to the side. Right arm goes to the side for a counterbalance. This is one variation. Your other option is left hand grabs the left big toe and then extend the leg out to the side. Whoop. Maybe. Find that focal point to focus on. Bring the leg back center and then step it all the way back into your lunge. And then we're going to pivot all the way over to the left side. All the way over. So left knees into the lunge, right heel's high off the mat. We'll get you the same thing on the other side, right? That's the best part of the practice is the left side. Because we all know the left side is so much easier than the right. Weight goes into the left foot. Inhale, right knee lifts up in front of you. And then standing big toe, either right hand opens the knee to the side for your Captain Morgan variation, or right hand grabs the right big toe, opens out to the side. You don't have to take your leg very straight. Goodness knows mine's not going straight. Find that focal point to focus on. Bring it back to the center. Step it back. crescent lunge. Oh, one side's always easier than the other. And then we're going to pivot to the right, wide legs. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come back to the hips. Inhale, come all the way back up. So at this point in a moon salutation, I give you the choice between side lunge and skandasana, that crouching warrior. I'm going to encourage side lunge because it's going to be a lot harder to get up from skandasana. Just trust me on this one. So on an exhale, you're going to bend your right knee. And you can have hands on the hips or palms together, heart center. I don't really care for this one. Right knee's bent into the side lunge. You do have a slight hinge forward, but belly stays in and up, not dumping onto the side. The fun part is we go from this pose to tree. That's why if you're down in skandasana, you have a lot further to get up. So bringing your palms together, heart center, at this point, weight goes into the right foot. You are going to slither the left foot in a little bit closer and then lift it up in front of you. Open the knee wide to the side and then find a tree pose. Wherever your foot can land, whether it's a kickstand, whether it's a shin, whether it's your inner thigh. Belly's in and up. Finding that focal point. You're welcome to add the arms into this as well if you're feeling balanced. This is one of those poses that skin to skin works best. Like if you're wearing shorts, man, it's the best thing because then the skin of your foot can stick to the skin of your thigh a little bit better. If you have your arms lifted overhead, bring your palms back together, heart center. Taking your foot off the leg, knees out to the side, bring it back center, and then you're going to slither it down and out, back into your side lunge with the right knee bent. Taking in a breath, straighten your right leg. Exhale, bend the left knee bend, side lunge. You can do palms together or hands on your hips at this point, whatever you choose. Staying strong through your feet, not pushing to the arch side of your right foot. You're on the outside edge of it. And we say the outside edge, like you're not rolling your foot out there. We want to make sure the outside edge of the foot's not lifting, foot's pretty solid down, but the arch does stay lifted. So we're going to take that right foot, slither it in, lift it up in front of us, open the knee to the side, and then find tree pose. Whatever variation you can today. And always with the option to take different variations on each side. And if you're feeling it and you can take the arms up, take the arms up. If you have those arms up, bring them back to heart center. Lift the foot off the leg. Bring the knee back center. And then take your foot down, slither it over to the side, side lunge. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, forward fold. Wide leg forward fold again. Last one of the practice. So if you want to find some movement here, if you want to just stay there, that's your choice. There are people that can go into a wide leg forward fold and then put their hands down and pop up into a handstand. If you're one of those people, you go right ahead. I'm not one of those people. Hands come back to your hips. Inhale, come all the way back up. And we're going to pivot our feet in, not all the way in, because we're going to go into a squat. So Malasana squats there. If you don't want to go that low, you can get your hips more in line with your knees. So your choice how wide your feet are here, but we're not going for full goddess. So bring them in a little bit closer, just wider than hip distance. Palms together at heart center. Next, exhale, bend your knees. So again, hips might come in line with the knees, even up a little bit, or you can take it down low into your Malasana. So technically speaking, we're only halfway through a moon salutation. It's like, wow, we only made it like halfway, or even like a quarter of a way too, if you do certain styles of it. So this is the fun part. The best part is we were in the poses and we threw in balance, so we don't have to go back through it again. Take a moment to breathe in your squat, no matter how low it is. And then, because we're so close to the floor, let's just find our way down. Find our way down. We're going to go for a little twist. So you can choose to stay sideways on your mat. You're welcome to turn forward on your mat, whatever's best for you. But from a seated position, take your left leg long, bend your right knee, putting your right foot on the floor. I'm going to have mine on the inside of the thigh. You're welcome to cross over the thigh if that is a variation you prefer. Left arm's going to hug the right knee into the chest. Right hand reaches behind you. On an inhale, lengthen up through the spine. As you exhale, pull your right hip back. Twist through the abdomen. Open the chest. Open the right shoulder. And then turn your head to follow. And I say to follow, your head doesn't have to turn as much as your shoulder goes. So I'm going to give you two options here. You can either continue to try to go deeper into the twist, lengthening up with the inhales, twisting deeper on the exhales, or you can just kind of settle in on this first twist and stay here. One of the ideas of being energized by the moon, by the full moon, is we have to make sure that energy can move through the body. And if we have areas of stagnant energy, areas of tightness, areas of tension, that energy is not going to flow, not going to move. So while twisting poses do not physically detox our body, they do energetically detox our body. So we're squeezing all those areas of stuck energy so then we can release it and it'll flow again like the water out of a sponge. Next, inhale, bring it back center. Switch it out, lengthening the right leg, bending the right knee. Same options apply. You can cross the thigh if you want. Right arm hugs the knee to the chest. Left hand's behind you. Inhale as you lengthen up. As you exhale, left hip pulls back. That goes first. Then the abdomen, open the chest and shoulder, and turn the head. Same options apply, whether you continue to twist more or whether you settle into that first twist. And I say settle in, and the moment I say settle in, like I almost like slouch. And that's okay. It is okay for that to happen. I'm not hurting myself. I'm just not going for as big of a twist, as intense of a twist as I could. And sometimes it's not about intensity. Sometimes it's just about the basic shape. Taking in a breath, bring it back to center. And then bend both your knees just long enough to roll down onto your back. Roll down onto your back, pulling your knees into your chest. take it into happy baby. So knees go wide as you reach it between the knees. You might grab feet or ankles, calves or thighs. And then rocking side to side is always optional, but it's there. It's available for you should you choose. Bring it back to center. Release the legs, knees back to the chest. And we're going to twist again, our final twist. So exhale, knees to the right, arms out in a T shape. And then I usually give you the option to not twist your head, twist your neck. I encourage you to this time. Always it's optional, but I encourage it. This twist might feel a little bit different than the seated one we just did. It's amazing that a twist feels so different and all we did was change one or two little parts of our body. On your next inhale, bring the knees back into the chest. Hug them there. And next, exhale, take both the knees to the left side of the body, arms into the T shape. And again, I encourage you to turn your head here. It's always optional, but it's that extra little twist. We generally speaking hold tension in our neck, shoulders, and hips. And so if we can release that tension, release that tightness, energy is able to flow a little bit more. That, energy can move and not get stopped by all these stopping blocks in, our body, in our subtle body. But what happens in our physical body impacts what happens in the subtle body and vice versa. Many times your posture mirrors what you are feeling. So if you are sad or depressed or upset, you're probably going to be slouched with slumped shoulders and a droopy head. But if you're in a good mood, you're going to be a little bit more upright. So that's one of those times the subtle body still impacts the physical body. Next, inhale, bring the knees back into the chest. Hug them there, squeeze them in tight. Next, exhale, Shavasana. So find that sweet spot where you are most comfortable. And then once you get into that super comfortable spot, whatever it looks like, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it's all about what it feels like for you. Once you get into that sweet spot, either close your eyes or find a focal point to focus on. Lengthen and deepen your breath. Allowing yourself to relax and giving yourself the rest that you deserve. Bringing the awareness back into your breath, back into your body. As you start to bring in those little movements into the fingers and toes. And those little movements work their way into ankles and wrists, rocking the head side to side. And roll to one side of your body into a fetal position. Taking a moment just to notice, and you might notice nothing, and that's okay. Sometimes the energy created by the moon doesn't come for a long time. Sometimes you won't notice it for a couple days. Or perhaps you've already spent it. And that's okay too. On your next inhale, push yourself up into a comfortable seat. Once you get into that comfortable seat, either close your eyes or find a focal point to focus on. Bring in the palms together at heart center. With all of the gratitude for joining me in practice today. With everything in me, thanking and honoring everything in you. Namaste. Awesome. Glad y'all made it.
Namaste again.
Thank you.
What?
Both kids are here.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. What?